Hello, everyone, and very good evening. Welcome to the first interview preparation session for the day. And we have started this process so that all the people who are good to go with Python developer field, or that particular domain where they want to be developers, right? They would is this interview through the questions, like what we are trying to ask for with respect to our topics, whatever relevant to machine learning mostly, and totally data science concepts, right? After that, later we will look into the other concepts which are not into the data science, but still we have few Python questions for the day. And myself, Deepthi, and I'm going to be the interviewer for the day with my colleagues Ashutosh and Bharat. Okay, so hi Ashutosh and Bharat.
Hi, Deepti.
Welcome to the session.
Thank you so
Deepti.
much.
So I hope you want to become good programmers.
Yep.
So that's the reason, right? We are into this, and I think you people are looking into both, right? As a data scientist, you should be a good at Python as well, which will be an asset for you people.
Exactly.
Right? Python developers plus a good data analyst also should have good knowledge on Python. That is also a tool which is very, very important, prominent role for data scientists or for data engineers or for data analysts. And then you can also apply as a Python developer as well. Right. So to begin with you, Ashutosh, can you explain me, the project work, or where you have started this data science and you have come across certain projects you have completed?
So basically, if I talk about my educational qualification, so I did my graduation in IT and I started my career into the marketing. And in the initial days of in the last days of my marketing career, I was heavily involved working as a marketing head for one of the renowned hospital brands in India. And during that tenure of working as a marketing head, I was involved heavily with business analysis tools, right? Business intelligence tools. And once I was working with these business intelligence tools, that is when I realized that I want to plunge into the data science field as well. And then basically I did my data science training and all these things. And I worked on few projects. So recently I worked on a project. I would like to draw your attention on that. And this particular project was for a Hyderabad-based client who is into the shuttle services. And basically, they wanted to start the shuttle services in Hyderabad from the MMTs, like metro stations, bus stops, railway stations to your IT corridors in Hyderabad. So this was the idea. This was the business problem that was given to us, and we came up with an objective that we want to come up with the optimal traffic route prediction for the client. So we started working on that. So based on the objective, we tried to collect the data from Google APIs. And while collecting the data, we ensured we were collecting the data for the particular time step. As in, if we talk about Hyderabad, there is a particular peak hour in the traffic, like in the morning times, say 8 to 10 a.m. And in the evening, it may be say 5 to 8 p.m. or 7 to 9 p.m. So this was the time frame that we were capturing. We captured the data from the Google APIs, and then we basically converted that into the graph data. Once it was converted into the graph data, we used your adjacency matrix. Once we came up with the adjacency matrix, then we tried to use various machine learning algorithms. We tried to experiment with various algorithms, and out of various algorithms that we tried, our main focus was for the community detection. And that is what we were focusing upon. And the best results that we were getting was for the Luvian model. We were getting good results for greedy algorithm. We did the evaluation by getting the modularity score. So whichever algorithm was giving us the high modularity, we picked up that. We used the deployment. We did the deployment in the Python Flask. So yeah, this is how we proceeded with this particular project.
Okay. So what are the tools you have used for this?
We have used your auto EDA also. Like the problem is with the traditional EDA that we encountered was that when we are using the traditional EDA, we know what kind of anomalies and ambiguity that is there in the data. But the kind of project I was working upon, here the data is coming live also through the feedback of the customers and all these people. So here we don't know what kind of anomalies will be there. So traditional EDA won't work over there. So we tried to implement auto EDA. We also tried to use your auto ML over here. But again, when we talk about auto ML and community detection, that is not a good combination. So we kept auto ML aside for this particular purpose.
Okay, so you have used a particular tool, like you have worked with the live data, and you have done auto EDA, and you have kept apart traditional EDA.
Yeah.
All these things you have done using what tool?
I have used your Python programming language for this.
Oh, Python.
Yeah.
Okay, so using Python, you have done auto EDA, right? You have used certain libraries with respect to auto EDA.
Yeah.
But to begin with, okay, let's even ask his experiences, Bharat, right? Hi, Bharat.
Hey, hi everyone.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Let me
Bharat.
introduce myself.
Yeah.
My name is Bharat. Okay, I've been associated with InnoDataTix for the past 1 year. Prior to that, I was working with an international bank. Okay, I am a management graduate, and right after working as a team member in the leading bank, I have decided to work into the space of analytics. That is based on my past experience. That is, I was working on a particular project with a leading bank, and we had a workshop in our office at workplace. And then that is where I've decided to take up the analytics program. While I was taking up the analytics program, I was also pitched about this one particular program, which was data science and artificial intelligence. Once I have attended the couple of demos, and then that is where I was able to take that from the institute, and I was more interested in that. Once I've cleared my course along with the projects, a couple of projects, I was industry ready, and then I got the opportunity with one of the companies in the analytics field, that is InnoDataTix, and I'm working as an associate data scientist in InnoDataTix. And as part of my job, I have worked on a couple of projects. To be specific, and I would like to mention about one specific interesting project that I've worked earlier. Okay, so this project that we worked was about the environment. It also had a social touch to it. Okay, so this project was from the leading clients based out of Malaysia. Okay, they were into different businesses, of which one of them was logistics. Okay, they were also involved in logistics. So while we were discussing with the clients, we got to understand the problem. And the problem that we're facing was they want to expand their business in terms of logistics. And to do that, one thing was stopping them, not exactly stopping them, at least it was a matter of concern being a Malaysia, because they are very particular about the regulations. Okay, so they were focusing on reducing the carbon footprints. Okay, overall carbon emission. So we, a team of data scientists, have gathered and we have formulated the objectives, and we have also refined the problem statement along with the actual problem of the client. So what we have decided is, along with addressing the problem, that is to reduce the carbon emission, we also want their business to make profits. Ultimately, any business will come up with profits, right? Their ultimate goal is to make money, right? We were able to maximize their profits, and we were able to minimize the carbon emission in the entire logistic industry.
Okay.
And subsequent discussions went on for the data collection. So this particular client that we are talking about, the data was stored in their SQL server, and the SQL server and the tool that they were using was MySQL. Because of the constraints, that is the restriction for the data, they did not give full access to us on the data. So we had an access to their MySQL server. That is where we picked the data. Once we have the data in hand, we have started analyzing the data. Okay. And once we have analyzed and we have drawn some conclusions of it, we have started to work on the cleaning of data. That is data pre-processing and exploratory data analysis.
Okay. So, Bharat, sorry to interrupt, but you have connected your from SQL database to Python, or you have used any other tool?
Yes, we have used Python programming language.
So you have done your EDA, your data cleansing, and then model building. The rest of the part is done only by Python, or you have tried with R programming or any other?
We have also tried few operations with R. However, extensively, we have worked on Python program.
Okay. Do you think R is good, or Python is good, because you have already worked with R as well?
Yes. So see, I feel that R is definitely good. It works well with the data visualization. So whenever we take up any visualization part to showcase our work to the clients, we switch to R because we feel that it is more efficient.
Yeah, but something is that people who are working with Python, right, the community, they're trying to merge the features of R into Python. Most of the things are becoming common, which were not earlier the same. Right? R was very, very good initially, but now Python took a head, and now it is ruling, and it became number one. That's why everyone is showing interest, and that is one of the most efficient tool, because it does many other things. It can connect to a database, it can retrieve the data, and you can work with can connect to the cloud. We have worked on the cloud platforms. So the reason that Python it became number one tool as of now, right? So it's still it's increasing day by day, but maybe we have to watch whether if something gets automated, like Ashutosh was saying, auto ML or something, just it's drag and drop. Till that time, we are still using Python.
Correct.
Okay, so let's discuss. Let's move our discussion forward. So Ashutosh, I would like to know from you, right? What with the basic first question, because everyone would like to know, or it's very important to know what are the data types we have in Python.
Yeah, see, coming to the data types in Python, we are having 5 standard data types in Python programming language. We have your list, that is basically a collection, and it is ordered and changeable. Lists also gives us the luxury to allowing your duplicate members. Then you have your tuple, which is basically a collection. It is ordered and unchangeable. When we talk about tuple, it is also allowing the duplicate members. Then you have your set, which is again a collection. It is unordered, unchangeable. It is unindexed as well. But here in the set, we don't have this, allowance of duplicate members over here, like we were seeing in the tuple and the list. And then you have a dictionary. Dictionary is also a collection which is ordered and it is unchangeable. But here also no duplicate members are allowed. Besides this, you have the string also. So these are the 5 standard data types that we are having in Python.
Okay. Bharat, would you like to add something? Or is it that we have only
No.
list,
Definitely
tuple?
we can add. I would like to add, if given a chance,
Yeah.
that you can also include integers. You can consider integers as the data type.
Okay.
Float. You also have float, and then
Okay.
you also have Boolean
Okay.
and complex numbers. Right? Basically,
Okay.
integers are your whole numbers, right? The real
Yeah.
numbers, and then float data type. You have the sequential decimals. And then you have also Boolean data type, which is a kind of a true or false representation.
Okay, Boolean values. Yeah.
Right. And then
So
you also
basically,
have
yeah.
complex numbers.
Yeah. So we'll work around with list, tuple, set, dictionary, right? So
Yes.
again in set, we can also add frozen set, right?
Yeah.
That one where
Yes.
it's, yeah, and tuple.
Correct.
Okay. So when we know certain data types, there will be certain criteria to be maintained, right? When you start writing a program, Bharat, I would like to know from you, what are the basic things, you should take care of when you start writing any particular code, right? For any particular basic code you start writing with Python. What do you think, few things you keep in your mind that, as a developer or, knowing certain things with respect to data analytic perspective or data science, if a client wants to look at the code, if at all, right? So what steps do you think you should keep in mind while you write a code?
Definitely, there is scope for this. First thing first is you should be able to effectively use the custom defined functions. Okay. So that is one thing. And then while you are working on it, you should also be able to use as many as packages you can use. It is said that you have close to about 26,000 packages, right? And then you can also have to not just writing the code, even including the comments that will help the reader to understand the code and try to interpret it better. Okay. And also one should follow the type hinting that will help in reducing the syntax errors.
Okay.
Okay. And if I were to use a notebook, for example, Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab, one should write, I would prefer writing it in a single line of code and then move to the next cell. So that will give me a good look and feel of the code. One will be able to read it clearly and precise.
Okay. So Bharat, I would like to know, see, you have just mentioned that efficient functions, right? So do you think whatever the functions which are predefined in Python, they are better, or according to you, I'm asking, whether you like to write your own defined functions, like user defined functions, which is more useful?
Well, I would prefer custom defined function. Okay. I would create my own functions. That way I can work around with it, and if I need any changes to be made later on, then I can do that. That is possible if it is a custom defined function.
Okay. So it's good that we go with custom defined functions rather than using something which is readily available by
Predefined
Python.
functions, if I would limit that to a
Okay.
certain extent.
Okay. So Ashutosh, I would see you. We have defined that we have certain data types like lists. Suppose if I want to nest, I have a nested list, suppose, and I want to extend it with another sub list. Okay. So what would be your approach? Okay, I'll just give you a list, or you can take your own. Okay, just I'll give you the list. Okay, you can just share your screen and are you ready to share your screen?
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. Let me give the, yeah.
Okay.
You can use any IDE.
Yeah, I have chosen your Google Colab over here.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I want you to, I have given two lists.
Okay.
Okay. One is a nested list. Is it
Mhm.
possible to have a list within a list?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I want that you to write a code to extend that nested list with one sublist.
Yeah, sure. So first, the list that you have given me, let me write it down. So that is list one is equal to,
Yeah, you can copy it.
yeah, I think that will be a much better idea. So let me just copy it. So this is the list that you have given, which is actually a nested kind of thing that I'm seeing over here. And this is the sublist that you have given me. And now you want me to extend it.
Yes, I
Right.
want, yeah. First thing is I want, you can directly add both of them. Like I want it into one single list.
Mhm. Okay, so here I'm going to use your extend function over here. And besides that, I'm also trying to use the indexing over here. So I'm saying your list one, and I'm trying to use your indexing over here. So first I'm taking your index two, then your index one, and again I'm taking your index two. And then I'm saying dot extend. And after writing your dot extend, I'm using the sublist that you have given me over here.
Yeah.
So when I say sublist, that is sub underscore list. And then I say print your list. And now when I run it, my bad. Oh, I missed some part over here. Yeah, so this is how you extend with your nested list. Deepti.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your question.
Okay, so you have tried to print in the alphabetical order.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So if at all you don't use the alphabetical order, so you can use extend function, but you have used indexing.
Yeah.
And you have also added an extend function to do this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Great. Okay. Okay. So Bharat, so if at all I just want to take a square of a list of numbers.
Okay.
Okay, I want to print it. The list of square of a numbers. Okay, what would be your approach?
Well,
I'll give you a
you
list
can
of
do that.
numbers. Okay, and I want you to explain me the procedure.
Okay.
Okay, so that you get
Yes.
the output.
All right. So let me, while I explain,
Every item should be displayed.
correct.
Okay, with a.
So what I can do is,
yeah.
while I explain, I will also, if given permission, then I will also be able to execute that.
Oh, yeah, sure, please.
Yes. Let me
Which
share
ID
my
you
screen.
are preferring to use?
Well, I like Spider, my personal favorite.
Okay.
Are you able to see this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Bharat.
So, right. First, you said that the list of numbers, correct?
Yeah. Given the items in the list, okay, I want each item to be printed by squaring it. So what will be your approach to do that?
All right. First, what I would do is I would create a empty list.
Okay. You can write the list of your own choice.
Okay, I'll do that. Even before I do that, I have to define a list, right? So I will say num1. I'm defining a variable num1. I'm simply, so this is my list. I will add values to it. Okay, list randomly. I'm adding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or let us keep it 7. All right. Once I have a list created, what I do is I will create an empty list. Okay. And I will call this variable as res. See what happened? I have defined a list. However, I did not execute this. It is really important that you execute.
Yeah, there's an error. Yeah,
See?
7. Yeah.
These things should be looked at. Let me.
5, 5.
Yes.
After 5, you have. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
Now, this is a list. See, list is a sequential arrangement of data. That is the reason you require a comma after all the objects, sequential, right? Like I said, it is an empty list I'm creating.
Okay.
Now, by using the loops, I'm using one of the loops, and then I am creating a iterative object. Okay, each iterations will see how it is done. Okay, basically, this is my empty list, correct? So I'll be using loops. I'll say for I am num1. Okay. Always after colon, it is recommended you get the right indentation. And then I will be using the append function. Okay. And this will help me, basically, let me do this first. The squares, right? You're able to square each number. So what I'm doing is I'm squaring each of the item in my list. Okay. Once I have done that, I would use a print statement to print this. Okay. So what we are doing here is, like I said, we are calculating the square of each number. All right. The current number, what we are looking at. So let me execute this. So it is also important that you comment. See, this way, it is an iteration that happens.
Okay. So it is iteratively giving me the output.
Correct.
For this. Okay, Ashutosh, is there any other approach for this?
Yeah, definitely. There is an approach that we can use. And that will be your list comprehensions.
Okay, so how do you write that?
Yeah, just let me share my screen to you, and then I will let you. In just a moment here. So are you able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So here, say I'm creating a variable called as numbers, and I'm putting some random values, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm saying res is equal to x into x for x in numbers. Fine?
Okay. It's a more precise way of writing, but yeah, let's see how it works.
I would say print res. And let me run this. Yeah, there you go. That is your list comprehension button.
Okay, this is a list comprehension. There we got for each and every using loops. We got a
Yes,
different
it
way
was
of
an iterative approach.
Yes, this is a list comprehension approach.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think we can stop for the day. Let's continue our discussion tomorrow for the different set of questions.
Sure.
Hope everyone who have joined the session, thank you all for joining in. So let's continue our discussion tomorrow with next set of questions with respect to Python. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepthi. Thank you, Ashutosh.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ashutosh.
guys. Thank
Thank
you. Bye.